Hey everybody, how you doing? Oliver Joyce from Whiskeybarrel Studios here, and welcome to another Sword and Sandals 6 developer update. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these, because last week, of course, I did the Ask Me Anything, which I had a lot of fun doing, and we'll do one of those again in a couple of months. So what's been happening in the last few weeks, development-wise? I've been very busy on the shop system still, and that took, longer than I thought. Actually, no, it took about as much time as I thought, which was close to a month. That might sound like a long time, but consider Sword and Sandals Pirates and Crusader took 3 or 4 months to do that fairly simple shop system with the upgrades of troops and everything. And this one is much more complicated and much more similar to Sword and Sandals V and Sword and Sandals III in its sort of look and appearance. I'm quite happy with how this has turned out, and it runs quite nicely on mobile so far. Let me describe the shop system to you, because of course, we're still not showing any gameplay images or footage yet. It'll come, I promise you, but we're still a couple of months away from that. I just want to get it all right before I reveal it all. But imagine, if you will, you got your battle caravan, you've got a field, you've got some wagons and tents around with your various shopkeepers, and then you go into the shop by clicking on one of the tents. Armorer pops up. How's it going? And you'll see on the left all the inventory. And you've got a bunch of buttons, where you can see all the items, or just the helmets, just the boots, just the capes, that kind of thing. You have the option of viewing it as a grid, 4 items, 4 items, 4 items, 4 items, or you can view each one in a little sort of a long panel. And on this panel, you see all the details about the item, how much durability it has, the armor value, a little highlight of the name, and a little thumbnail of the image. Then you can tap on that and see a more detailed version. If you have an item equipped, you can tap on the item, and it will show you the comparison of the equipped item. So if I had a dirk in my hand, and then I was looking at a sword in the shop, it'll show me the 2 items, and it'll show you which one, has better stats and that kind of thing. So I'm pretty happy with that. That is something you see a lot in games like Diablo and, those kind of things. I've also got the beginnings of the item sort of rarity and item enhancement system. So in Sword and Sandals 3, you notice there was a lot of special magical items which had prefixes and suffixes. Things like King's Armor of the Rat, or, Godly Claymore of Might, that kind of thing. Now, we will be putting that back in Swords and Sandals 6. I've got 5 tiers of item, from common, uncommon, which are like the green color ones, rare, a blue, epic, a purple, and legendary. At the moment, I think golden colored in terms of the color. And these will have suffixes and prefixes, like kingly, bears, eagles, whatever it is. And those will go up in power. And they will, enhance things, not just statistics, but some will give you sort of bonuses to stats. Some will have knockback effects. Some will, have fire enchantments, that kind of thing. The idea is, and I don't know how easy this will be to do, but I want to have socketed items as well. So you'll be able to enhance your items by putting gems into them. That's going to come later, because it's not something I need to put in right now. But that's all basically the workings of that are in the game. You can buy and sell items. Now, when you buy an item, a little picture shows your character with the item on it, then fades away again. So once I buy a helmet, bam, picture comes up, helmet appears, fades away over a second. It's quite a nice little image. You can sell items. You can go to the weaponsmith and check all that out. No magical items in the game yet, as far as like staves or scrolls or anything. The tavern has nothing yet, but the system is all there in place. I'm really happy with it. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you today about was the day and night lighting system, which, of course, if you know Sword and Sandals, I like to put those in the games. And every game from pretty much Sword and Sandals 2 onwards has had a day and night system. And this is predominantly a visual thing. So when you go to the battle caravan at dawn, the colors look a little bit more sort of, purpley, and, the day is just beginning and the colors are a little faded out. By sunset, it's full saturated. You see, everything in play. The forge, of course, is fully lit and has fire going on. Then when it comes to evening and the sky goes orange and purple and then dark, then the lights come on and you see these really nice little colored lighting effects and a campfire glows with particles and things. It's quite a nice effect. And, if you really squint on this thumbnail for the video, that's the nighttime battle caravan. And, you can't really make it out, but it looks really cool, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Not only because of the awesome art from my good friend Bakimi, but just the lighting effects in Godot have been really easy to use and quite effective. And I'm going to translate that to other parts of the game as well. So the overland map will have day and night lighting. So at nighttime, the map will appear dark, and you'll of course have a little sort of glowing area around your little battle caravan as you travel around the map, and maybe certain cities might be lit up as well. And in daytime, it'll appear fully lit. One thing I haven't added yet, but I want to, is the weather system, and we will have, of course, snow and rain and that kind of thing, and leaves. And in addition to the day and night system, the weather will impact battles. And so you may have characters that fight better in the rain, depending on where they're from, or you might have penalties fighting in the heat of the day. Characters like Yeren, the Yetis basically, will struggle in hot, dusty climates, and automatons might freeze up a little bit in the cold. And I haven't worked that out yet, but it might just be certain bonuses and penalties to certain stats depending on where you're fighting and the time of day you're fighting. Undead fight better at night, for example. And I think that'll be a fun sort of bit of strategy to add to the game. Picking the time of day you're going to fight. You don't often get a chance for that, but I might sort of, have certain fights scheduled for night, certain times day, depending on when you arrive in a town. These are all just ideas popping around in my head, but I'm looking forward to getting stuck into them. Finally today, I have begun work on the combat system. And by that I mean I've got an arena, just a background and 2 characters, and over the next couple of weeks I'll be working out how the UI looks for that, the battle buttons, the 2 little panels for your character and the enemy's character, and then we'll work them out, the characters moving towards each other. I've got a very basic camera that sort of pans and scrolls between them. A lot needs to be worked out for this, and this will take several months. Once this is done, I'm going to put together a little teaser trailer and put up a Steam page so you can start wishlisting the game, and we'll start building up some real buzz for the game, because until and all you can go on is my own talk, and there's a long way to go, but I'm so far pretty happy. Had a couple of little setbacks in terms of the animation system I was using was a program called Spriter, and it worked in Godot, but it's had some real problems with the lighting of characters. The lighting hasn't looked right on them because the way of the indexing of character bones and so on are on different layers, so the light looks all blotchy and so on. So I'm going to be trying a few different skeletal animation systems. Firstly, the inbuilt Godot one, I'm going to give that another go, and if that works, I'll just go with that, because it's very important to me to have the characters lit up nicely at night and in daytime. When they're fighting underground, I want everything to look a little bit dark, and when they go near torches, I want it to look like the characters are, semi-lit, because that's one thing that was missing from Swords and Sandals in previous games is the lighting was very flat, and it's something that you can do nicely in Godot, and I want to put into the game. And it was a bit of an annoyance to not have the day and night lighting system working properly with the skeletons. But to tell you the truth, Spriter had a couple of issues anyway. I couldn't sort of put shaders on my characters. It was a bit more clunky than I first thought. I bought it, the animation software, $60 or $70, but what can you do? Sometimes these animation packages don't always work. I may go back to using Dragon Bones, which is what I used in the other Swords and Sandals games. Depends on how well the Godot skeleton system works, but I'll update you on that in a future video. Alright, that's it for today. If you want more Swords and Sandals content and you've enjoyed this one, thanks for sticking with me. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. Yeah, I got the finger right this time. I've often done that wrong. It really, I do appreciate all the comments. I read them both on here and on Discord, and I take on board all the suggestions in my little notepad. There's been some fantastic ones, particularly from General Nitsky, who, I rechristened him that, and I'm not sure how well he likes that, but this man has done 57 suggestions for Swords and Sandals 6, and each one has been genius, and I hope to be able to implement many of them. So if you have any things you would like in Swords and Sandals 6, just write in the comments below, and I'll see how achievable they are. We are, of course, working towards, I think it might be September or October, for a demo for the Steam Festival. And that's very important that I get something up there just so the wider community and the YouTubers and everything can start getting involved. That, of course, does not mean anything like the game will be finished this year. We're looking at probably at least this time next year before the game is released in early access, and then we'll go from there. Then multiplayer. So it's a long journey, but thank you for sticking with me, and it will be worth it. Until next time, my friends, it's nearly the weekend, so whatever you're up to, stay safe and have a good time, and bye for now.